Hey, this is Mike Koenigs. Welcome to Digital Cafe Studios here in San Diego. I'm here with my very good friend, Dean Graziosi. He is arguably probably the #1 infomercial producer out there. You're selling 5,000 people a week. Been on the air 13 years.
Yep.
And I've got the good fortune of having Dean in the studio today. And here's the deal. This is 100% content. There's nothing to buy. There's no pitching going on here at all. Dean's in town. He just is here for a month and a half in San Diego.
The family down to get out of the 114 heat in Arizona.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we're here.
It's good. And we just met up yesterday morning at a farmer's market, and we were just chatting about some stuff. And we basically were brainstorming. We thought, well, let's do a video together. Yep. And Dean's got 3 really, really cool things he's going to share with you. And as we were just talking about Tarantinoing it, so we're going to give you the end of the movie first, tell you what's in store for you, and why you want to stick around, watch this. #1, Dean is going to basically deconstruct and talk about his formula that he's been using for selling with video for all 13 years on the air.
Yep.
That's really cool. The next thing is you just told me, and I knew nothing about this, that you've been studying some mindset shifts that you see in America, that, and you did a test using this mindset stuff, which you haven't even told me what it is yet, and you had your highest conversion numbers ever.
Yep.
Okay, that's impressive. And then the other thing we have is the biggest wealth building opportunity that's happening right now. And of course, you know, in a down economy, that's pretty interesting as well. So we've got these 3 things. How do you want to start? And is there anything else that you want to talk about, maybe about your background for anyone who doesn't know who you are, who's never watched television before, or hasn't, you know, been channel surfing to find you driving around in your car and selling books, selling real estate books.
Driving with my knee.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
No, real quick, and I won't bore the pants off everybody with my whole history, but I mean, I was a broke kid who the only people with money in my town were in real estate. So I got involved in real estate, and sometimes being young, naive, and silly or stupid is a really good thing, because when everybody told me,
it
hey,
served me well.
Yeah, exactly. I still kind of feel that way some days. Probably not the young part, but
I love the dumbest guy in the room. That's what John Asraf always says. I always want to be the dumbest guy in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
because you're always evolving. But you know, so I got involved in real estate, and I was naive enough to think I could do it, and I did. You know, through trial and error, which, you know, like your students and so many great people out there who learn from other people's trial and error is a lot better. But I learned on my own, and I did go with real estate, and I ended up, you know, I got involved in the last down real estate market, and I became a millionaire in my 20s, which that sounded really simple. There was a lot of trial and error to get there.
Yep.
And then about 14 years ago, I used to watch Carlton Sheets and Don Lapre on TV, and I'm like, I don't know if those guys are the real deal, but I know I did. I was a broke kid who made it, and I started writing books and wanting to teach, and I had to learn. You know, it's so funny. I wasn't a marketer who figured something out. I was a real estate guy. I mean, I still do real estate. I've bought 50 properties in the last 30 days, right? Yep. But what I had to do is to get my books, to get my information in people's hands, I had to learn how to be a marketer.
Right.
It's like having a great college, but if you don't have any signs and nobody goes to your college, what's the sense of it? So what I did over the last 13 years is defined and refined a system to get people to raise their hand, because I know if they buy my book, they're going to be in much better shape than buying my competitor's book or doing nothing.
Right.
So that's where my, you know, that's where the energy came to try to be a badass marketer.
Right, right.
You know?
And you know, and what you've done, this is really, really important, is #1, you've continued to do it. And we were talking about this yesterday. You're in La Jolla right now. You're about to buy a house. And the exact same system that you use to, what is it, sift, sort, and
screen, you know, to find deals no one else can. I mean, you said to me you're thinking of upgrading your house. I said, don't dare do it. Use my system. Use my funnel process, because no one else, you know, so that's what I do.
Right. So the whole point is never trust a teacher who isn't still doing.
I agree.
Right. And
I totally
I think that's really, really important. And so often that happens inside of the quote-unquote guru community is, you know, you start teaching, you start presenting and speaking, and pretty soon all you're doing is talking.
Well, you know, one thing I do, and then we'll get to video. I want to share some. I want to share, by the way, before we get done with this video, I want to share some absolute nuggets that took me all these years to figure out that you could take and just put into play. But, I mean, what keeps me, just talking back to my real estate, why we have so many successful students, why we have so many people every single week get engaged, is because I partner with my top students. So when I partner with them, it's like me times 20. I have all, you know, newbies to you know, young investors, new and older investors out on the ground, and when they have a problem, they come to me, I get to solve it. But then when they find something killer, they share that too, and then I get to give it to my students. So again, not only do I still invest personally, but partnering with my students, I just know what's going on right this second.
Right.
It's not like something that was a trend. I know what's going on right now.
Yeah, and we use a similar strategy. We call it our hero and our all-star strategy, which is, you know, always focusing on who's doing what. So our screening mechanism is someone who is on their way to generating a 6-figure business in the first year. Sometimes it's the first couple weeks, sometimes the first few months.
Right.
And they have an opportunity we actually promote them and feature them in our launches, and they get to
awesome.
speak at our events.
Cool.
An all-star is someone who is on their way to a $250,000 or greater size business. And they're people who we literally partner with. We pay them to create content and speak in the same exact idea, which is,
well, that's but that keeps you on the ground because they know what. Listen, here's the thing. My problems today aren't the same problems I had when I was a kid living in a trailer park or where I was broke out of high school trying to figure out my life, right? So I don't have those same problems. I have hundreds of employees. I'm trying to expand my business. I'm writing books, doing all these things. So if I just like you,
going off in the background.
Yeah, it's all right. See, I get easily distracted.
Oh, yeah.
Shiny object.
Exactly. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel.
So, but if your problems become different, so if you don't stay in touch like you do with your all-stars, you know, you lose sight of it. So I think that's what's made our business grow so fast.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me what the, let's start with nugget number one. Let's talk about, you know, your video formula that you use right now.
Okay, so here's the thing. When I first started especially, I always had this little, and again, I wasn't a marketer. I used to literally watch other people's shows, then I dissect it and try to figure out how they made that work.
I still do it every time. Every marketer it's up, I record the videos, I have it transcribed, and I read them, I study them, and that's the way you learn.
So I used to, right, exactly. So I'd model, and what I realized is that what I wanted to do was produce a flow in my videos that I didn't want to count on a beginning to end story because especially in today's world, in the last 13 years, it's gone so much quicker. You know, people's focus is limited to seconds now, right? Yeah. But I used to think, especially if I did a half-hour show and you can condense it in a shorter video, but every 2 to 3 minutes, I wanted to circulate and to make sure I hit 3 or 4 different categories every 3 minutes. So anybody could tune in the middle of my show and it wasn't a beginning or an end.
Yeah, give me an example just for someone who doesn't...
No, in those 2 to 3 minutes, I would make sure that someone realized that they could do this, that it was easy to do.
So easy?
Or step by step, right?
Easy, step by step.
Easy is an overused word that I hate to use. I just want to give people the blueprint, the recipe, the step by step. So in those couple of minutes, I want them to know they can do it, that they believe me, that I do something that shows them trust because I do truly care and sincerity. I want social proof in there so someone else has done it. Now here's 2 other things. Now if you're not in the business opportunity world, it could be savings, it could be losing weight, it could be whatever it is. But the last 2 was, then I had them different. One is change of life.
Okay,
And the other
Better
one...
life, change of life.
Right, and the other one, these sound almost similar. The other one was a money claim.
Okay.
So it could be in the weight loss world, it's a weight loss claim. It's if it's in the savings money business, it's a saving claim.
So this kind of result in 30 days or some sort of a time.
So what I always wanted to do, so if a testimonial came on and said, you know what, I saw Dean infomercials, I wasn't sure, but when I got his material, I realized he was the real deal. And in the first 30 days, I made my first $5 grand. And now I don't stress as much. I pick my kid up from school. That's a change of life, right? So as long as those 4 things would circulate in a couple of minutes, it would give me much greater chances of success. Now here's the only reason I'm saying that, like you're saying to yourself, well, all video has that. Because sometimes we get passionate on our product. We get passionate on what we want to share. I love this microphone so much that I might talk about the microphone more than the benefits. Right? So we get on a 2-minute tangent
on a
about the product, feature, and you don't realize that in that 2 minutes, if you didn't circulate those things, you just lost somebody. They go, well, that's great. You know, So I think if whatever your video is, if it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and you're going to use it, make sure that just loops, no matter how you want to tell the story, through somebody else, through yourself, but it's got to have those ingredients.
Well, it's interesting because one other formula that I learned some time ago is the Mary Kay formula, which is it easy, does it work, can I do it?
Yeah, it's great.
And that's a variation, but I think, you know, it's okay, I can do it, it's the first one. The trust, which basically... I want to spend a couple of moments talking about how you create trust, that sense of trust. Because again, someone's flipping through the infomercial there, and I told you this. Remember, like when we first met, I said you at first reminded me of, is it Joel Osteen?
Yeah, Joel.
Because
Osteen.
It's this nice, clean-cut guy, and you know, you don't come across as being a snake oil salesman. So some of that.
And we'll go deep on that. I think I can share a big nugget with people on that.
So the social proof, which is someone else has done it, okay, which is means you have to show some sort of a physical proof or maybe a little interview, and it has to be with someone who's believable.
Yep.
Okay. The change of life would be showing a before and after picture or something, or just like you said, talking about it. Before I used to worry, now I get to drop off my kids.
Think about that, the before and after, like change of life is, don't forget to be in the mind of your prospect. It's not always about the money. Like the money gives us byproducts that we want. We want to make more money so we don't have to work as hard, right? So the thing is, get inside the prospect. What do they want? And make sure you show them that someone else has changed their life in a way bigger and better than just the weight or just the money or just the whatever it is that you offer.
That's great. This is one thing that Dan Kennedy talks about in his Ultimate Sales Letter Formula, which I think is one of the best sales letter books out there. I mean, if someone invests $12 in that book, it's kind of all you need to learn how to sell with copy. And he talks about get into your customer, get into your product. And really, like you say, understanding their mindset. And the only way of doing that is, in my experience, either having been selling and delivering product for weeks, months, or years, or looking at your best customers you've ever had and really understanding who they are and speaking to the one.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's talk about this trust thing, because I think that's something for... Let's say this is someone watching right now who's saying, I've never done it before and I can't visualize myself on video and I haven't sold anything yet.
Okay, so I'm going to give you two things.
If you get past the trust barrier.
Yeah, I'm going to give you two things that I say to myself. So my evolution, and I'll digress a little, my evolution over the last 13 years went from me writing my own scripts and using teleprompter to the last 5 years I haven't used a teleprompter or a script. I've done every show off the cuff, knowing what I want to deliver to people. And there's a couple things that have allowed that to happen, and you could take my years of, took me a long time to get there and get there a lot quicker. One of the first things to remember, and which will build trust immediately, is that people buy from you when they feel understood, not when they understand you. Now really think about that, okay? I watch good sales guys hit a ceiling of complexity because they have their pitch, they have their shtick, they read on the latest sales gimmick, they use it to the perfection they use it, but they always hit a ceiling of complexity because they want people to understand what they have to offer. So think about this, you walk in, you want to get a new car, you walk into a car dealership, one car dealer comes up to you, a sales guy comes up to you and says, let me tell you, son, we got this deal, it's this, it's on sale, it's this, your wife would look great in it. He wants you to understand what he has. What if a sales guy came up and said, hey, how you doing, glad you're here today. I'd love to hear, I'd love to hear what you and your wife are looking for, and shut his mouth.
So how do you do a consultative sell on video?
Okay, so I'll tell you how to do it.
Because that's really what it is. And this is something my wife always says is, in order to be interested, you have to, or to be interesting, you have to be interested.
Exactly. So think about this. Don't think so much. Now this relates right to going on the mind of your prospect. You have to know what your clients are looking for and enter a conversation that's already on in their head. So let me just share this. I use really simple analogies. If you have a room full of people that want blueberry muffins, but you made the best strawberry muffins on the planet, they're so good and yummy and tasty, and you go, I'm going in there, I'm going to tell them how great this is, I'm going to push them, and they're going to go from blueberry to strawberry, right? At the end of the day, what you got to do if there's a room full of people that want blueberry muffins is get blueberry muffins, heat them up, put butter on it, and deliver it to them really nicely, right? And that's a big difference. Don't get so involved into what you're thinking they want. You have to figure out as a marketer what your clients need. Where there's anxiety, there's opportunity. What's their anxiety, and how can you give them an anti-anxiety pill, right? When you do that, let me just tell you what happens. When you do that, when you understand who you're trying to sell, and most of the time it's intuitively, because if you're selling something, most of the time you've been there, you felt that pain. How did traffic geyser come about? You wanted a better system for what you did, right? How did I know about real estate? I was a broke kid who wanted more. I know the real estate world better than anybody because I lived it. So instead of pitching, what I try to do is remember where I was, or find the people I'm looking for and what conversation is going on, and need to enter that conversation. And that's just proved. And here's one other thing too. And this is, again, this is just giving you the secret sauce of what I sell. I believe so much in what I sell, Mike. I love my product, and it hasn't always been to the level it is now. But I love my product so much that I feel obligated to share it with people. Because if I don't get them to take action with me, they might buy a competitor's program that sucks, or they may do nothing. And when you can get to that level of loving what you do, right? So you might be thinking, I'm not that great on video, or you personally, or you're scared, or you got to, let me just tell you, when you love what you have, it's easy to share. How many times have you been to a movie, you love it, somebody says, I'm not a salesman, I don't know how to sell, but you come home and go, oh my God, Mike, I got to tell you about this movie. It was hysterical. You're selling that movie because you loved it. What do you do when you go for, and you have a great meal?
Same thing. God, you can't imagine that beef. It was.
You got to go to Piatti's down in, you know, the pasta was incredible. The sauce, the service was good. You're selling. But when you feel that good about what you offer, whether it's lose weight or a local business or whatever it is, right? When you feel that good, when you enter the mindset of what's going on and you want them to feel understood, then it's easier to get across on camera. And one thing to realize is the quickest way to get people to feel like you understand how they feel is to address their pain, right? And everybody knows this. There's a lot of things that you probably already don't go, Dean, I get that. But the depth of how you reach that pain is all the difference.
Let's have a hard example here.
Okay.
Prove to me you understand your average buyer's pain. Can you come up with some example here? You start out, I mean, the classic thing is you can't pay your mortgage, or that feeling you have when, but how do you address it? Give me an example.
How would I address the pain is, again, it's knowing what people have already stumbled on, right? So it's easy to say, okay, I could say to you, hey, you could buy my program and be debt-free, have financial freedom for the rest of your life and feel amazing. That's an infomercial pitch from like 7 years ago, right? But what's the difference if I said, listen, I get it. You and your wife go out to dinner and you're at the crappy place that you don't want to be, and you know you shouldn't even be there because you can't pay your bills. But how would it be if you took your wife to the fanciest restaurant in town and she's like, why are we going here? And you say, shh, I just want to take you to dinner. You order that expensive bottle of wine because you've been wanting to do it for her and you feel like you don't even have all the confidence you used to have as a man. But then you sit down, you order this great meal, and she says, how are we doing this? And you hold up a check. How is that going to feel in your hand when you show her, hey, I made this in 30 days doing something different, and we're going to pay off that credit card debt that's been lingering, that we argue over. The last time you bought something for the girls, I yelled, I know I did, and I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen anymore because I made a difference in my life. Like things like that. There's a difference between just having the pitch. It's like, what are they feeling? If someone's heavy, like what does a heavy person feel like when they get on a plane or they go out to dinner and people look at them? Like, again, unfortunately, people will take action by painting a bigger future. There's no doubt, right? Hey, you're overweight. How would it be to be in that bikini and feel good? But in so many cases, you have to remind them how much it sucks being where they are. Because just the thought of a bigger future, or not bigger future if you're heavy, but a bigger future financially, skinnier, the thought
of a thinner
future isn't enough for most people. And that's why I want to talk about, we'll lead into the mindset.
Okay, yeah, let's hit over there. And I think that was incredible. And I'm going to just restate what you basically said, which is, and this is also.
And just so you know, this just comes out. Like, I don't talk about this stuff a lot. Like, this isn't in 100 different videos anymore. I share everything with you because you're a good bud, and I love that you have great clients that want to hear it. So
right, and we were just sitting, we brainstormed. It was, I mean, literally what happened here is Dean came up to make another video, and I said, hey, can we create some cool content? And he's like, what are we going to talk about? And I go, here's what I know. Everyone who comes to Traffic Geyser wants to know how to use video to make more money.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you got? And he goes, well, I got this. And I go, what about, what else you got? And, I mean, started out, we had 3 bullets.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing scripted and no expectations other than we've got. Yeah, exactly. So really, it's, I'm going to restate in another way what you already said, which is what you're doing is you're sharing with them what the ownership experience is like, the successful ownership experience. That's really how you're painting that picture, which is this is the way life could be. And that is an amazing way, and as you said, they'll feel understood. Because I know that there's a lot of people listening to what you just said, which is, you're, instead of going to the crappy restaurant, you're going to the nicer restaurant. Or that one time when we fought over money, okay? At some point in time, all of us have fought over money in some degree. So that is casting a wide net. But also, the more you know who you've sold to or who uses your product and who have been the best customers. I always say, sell to the best customer you've ever had because you'll attract more of them into your life.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's get to the mindset. You just said, and you haven't told me this yet.
I'll show you how this all flows together. And so when the economy tanked and we were crashing straight down, again, I use crazy analogies. It's like the Titanic just went down and everybody's in the frigid water.
And I want to make sure, too, that our air conditioning is adjusted if that hasn't been done already.
Okay, you got
because,
it's a little sticky.
Yeah, it did. It got a little bit... the place automatically
Nice.
shuts
Here we
off,
go.
and this is something we're working on right now.
You
Yeah,
got it.
exactly.
It's all good.
All right.
All right. So let me just share this with you. When the economy crashed, and again, it doesn't matter what you do, even if you're in the weight loss world or something that has nothing to do with money. When the economy crashed, it's like the Titanic went down, and people are in the water, and what do they want immediately? It's a shock. It's ice cold water. They want a life preserver,
Yep.
right? So think about this. 5 years ago, if you went to dinner with 6 couples, and
Yep.
one of them was in foreclosure,
Yep.
you'd be shocked. Everybody would talk about it. Oh my God, Bob and Sally are in foreclosure.
Yep.
If you went to dinner with 6 couples today and half of the table was in foreclosure and 2 other people lost their job, no one would say a word
Isn't it the
and they'd
truth?
move on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I want you to think about that. People, the Titanic went down, they were screaming. They wanted quick change, whether you're in a financial world, whatever you do for a living. We were in, as a mindset of America, quick action. I need something to happen, right?
Yep.
Something's got to happen. I want to lose weight. I want to feel better. I need to make money. The world's crashing.
Yep.
Well, everybody kind of got used to it, Mike.
Yep.
We've
Okay.
got complacent.
It's true.
We've become status quo. If your friend's losing his house, you're like, that sucks. People don't even care about their credit score the way they used to anymore. It used to be the biggest thing. Oh my God, people don't care about going into foreclosure because they have to, right? So what has happened over the last 3 or 4 years is people have got complacent. We're happy at the bottom. We're going, this is as good as life gets, right?
It's because guy begging on the street corner's got a cell phone.
Right.
Part of the thing is poverty ain't what it used to be.
Right,
either,
exactly. So
It's
what I'm
paper
saying,
poverty,
so
too.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, on the way down,
Yeah.
we were throwing people life preservers
Yeah.
to try to help them. But now that they're there and they've been treading water, got used to the cold, it's not that bad. What you have to do in today's marketing, more than anything I've ever seen, is people need to be kicked and they need to be reminded of the pain that they experienced so they never experience it again.
Yep.
So again, when the market was crashing down, I had the best real estate book on the market. It's one of the best-selling real estate books of all time. I've sold over 1 million copies of Be a Real Estate Millionaire. Not many real estate books have ever done that, okay?
Yeah.
What I shared with people is we're on the way down. This is where you could turn it around and go to a bigger future. That same book and that same message isn't working right now because people have got complacent along the bottom. What people have to be reminded is how they felt on that slide, okay?
Yeah.
So again, what
Yeah.
I think in today's market, more than anything, and I've been testing this, is you have to remind people of the pain more than ever before in any of your marketing.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay? And when I've done this, the pitch on where you could take your life from here to there is exciting, but you need to remind them where you just were on anything that you do, right? Who wants to feel this way during the next recession? Right? Whoever wants to feel the way we felt over the next couple of years. If you can become bulletproof, if you can, feel healthy during, I mean, if it's weight loss, if you're feeling healthy during it, how many times when money's tight do we let our health go?
Yeah. It's,
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way it is. You
Right,
see,
right.
some because the focus, it gets you off track. So that's one thing. The second thing I want to share with you
Yep.
is that just like the Missouri tagline for the state, the Show Me State,
Yeah.
what I've come to realize, I've produced shows side by side.
Yep.
We're doing live events all over the country.
Yep.
One of my show drives people to a live event.
Yep.
One of them drives it to my latest best-selling book. The live event one is out producing 3 times as well. And here's what I think, that so many of you, right, you're standing more on the sidelines now to see what happens.
Right.
When you were screaming down, you're like, I need something, let me grab a hold of it. Now you're kind of sitting back going, is this real? I'm not sure. At least if I go to a live event, it's touchy-feely, right? I could see if this guy's the real deal.
Right.
So what I've learned to do is not only, and this is what you do online more, is I deliver results really fast now. So when you get my program, it's not like, well, I got to read this, do this. I've created more of, and I want you to steal this because this is the secret to why I have so many wealthy students, why I have more successful students than anyone on the planet.
Yeah.
People don't want to learn, and this is something, and I'm going to be very transparent. Let you see behind the curtain here. People, if somebody wants to change their oil in their car, they want to do it themselves to save money, there's a couple ways they could figure it out. They could go to mechanic school for 4 years.
Yep.
Right?
Or
They could read an entire book on how to do it. Or you could go to a mechanic that's been doing it for 20 years and say, on this piece of paper, give me the 5 nuggets. I want to go home and change my oil. He does it. You go home, change it as good as him. People want recipes.
Yep.
Right? You want to learn to be a cook? You don't have to go to school for 4 years. You don't have to read a cookbook. Just give me the damn recipe of my favorite dish.
Yeah.
So what I've come to realize is combining that is remind people of the pain and then deliver them recipes. So literally while they're on their, phone, they could see, oh my God, this guy just gave me the recipe for step 1.
Yeah.
Right? And that combination has, now all this sounds like it could be a trick to get people to take action. If you sell a crappy product, it is, right? But if you ethically bribe people to get involved in a future that's bigger for them.
Right.
What I always said, if you smoked, Mike, I would do everything in my power to get you to stop smoking. I'd increase years on your life. You'd be a grandpa instead of dying, right? If I can ethically bribe you, if I can market to the best of my ability, if I could convince you to raise your hand and buy my stuff, and I get you involved in a program or a system that creates wealth and independence and allows you to spend more time with your family, I'll do everything in my power. Yep. Selling is not bad. Selling a shit product is bad. Selling a cure for cancer, a real cure, is amazing. Selling cigarettes, which could be just as manipulating, sucks. You're selling something that gives people cancer.
Yep.
So the selling is not the bad part. It's what you sell.
Right.
And if you remember that, you will do everything in your power to be a better salesman.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because, you know, and this wasn't done by accident, but when we did the Main Street Marketing Machines Fusion product, the whole idea behind that is we built the training and the blueprint into the product. So we had what we called money maps. So the whole idea is watch the video and fill in the blanks while you're watching the video.
Absolutely.
And
I watched it.
Through,
it was amazing.
right?
It was amazing.
And it was by far our most, in terms of usage and results, it's been our most successful product so far. But it's taken us years to figure that out, too.
This is 13 years of figuring this out. And here's one thing I know. I'll see somebody who will go, hey, I sold this product, and we had this huge refund rate. So we improved it. And then we sold it, and the refund rate didn't change at all, so we added more to it. And in most cases, people have to reduce it and give people the recipe.
Simplicity.
They're already overwhelmed with the first package. Now you're just overwhelming them more.
Which is interesting because in the old days, I mean, it was like the size of the box of stuff made a difference on the sales. People bought quantity. Now it's like they want simplicity and they want time savings. You know, it's like if I can, give you, and they want it faster, they want it done for you, they want it. It's just a sign of the times, and they want to work less, get bigger results, and do no work. You know, that's kind of the joke amongst marketers. But I'm going to just bring this back to what it all comes down to is remind them of the pain. Is really the big thing, and the cold way of saying this. And again, I don't know who originated this saying, but they'd say, push in the knife and twist it, right? Yeah. It's like, that's not a good picture. Or pour salt on the wound.
Right.
Which is, identify what they're feeling and make it worse, and then show them the cure.
Right. I mean, again, where there's anxiety, there's opportunity. Unfortunately, in today's market, the mindset shift of America, I've been watching this for 13 years like a hawk because I depend on all of America to buy my stuff, right? Yeah. Is they need to be reminded of the pain more than ever. And if you're reminding them of the pain to sell them a product that can benefit their life, then it's okay.
Right.
At least that's what I feel.
Yep. Well, this is another big part of why you're successful is you monitor, you observe trends, and you take advantage of them. I mean, that's what a good entrepreneur does. So, if you look at this, number one has been by doing all your video infomercials that you've been doing. You've figured out the formula. Watching the gurus, modeling them, improving upon that, and making that shift from the old school infomercial formula with teleprompters to this formula.
Living experience.
Right. And identifying the reasons why they buy, which is I can do it, creating that trust by being able to essentially replay what is going on in their life, so they say he understands me. Okay, being able to show the social proof that someone else has done it, a change of life, and then like you say, the claim, right? The results. Okay, or as I have the simplified version, but I like yours better, the Mary Kay formula: is it easy? Does it work? Can I do it? And then phase 2 here, just to summarize, again, is the mindset shift in America is, so now we've reached this bottom thing. People are used to, like you said, living in the cold. Or if you're a frog in a boiling water, right? You're going to, but that's very effective. You use the strategy. You found it to produce great results. And again, it's just as much a sign of the times. People's behaviors vary depending on what's going on. So, and most likely 20 years from now, if we go through another economic cycle,
it'll be very similar.
Which brings us to the third point, which is, you talked about the biggest wealth creation opportunity. And again, it goes back to what you do, which is pay attention. You watch how people buy, what they buy, and I know that you hire a lot of economic advisors. You're friends with some of the best in the world, paying attention to what's going on. And as a real estate investor, that's something really, really important to do.
Right.
So what's the biggest wealth creation opportunity right now that's been going on, and why?
Okay, hands down, and it's going to seem really obvious because this is what I do. Hands down, it's real estate.
Okay.
Because
and what
let me
kind of real estate and why?
Let me just tell you why.
Okay.
Let's just think about the real estate market. And if you have a pen and paper, draw on a piece of paper something that looks like a roller coaster going up and down.
All right.
Right? Roller coaster goes up and down. That's the real estate market. If you look at the valleys, and you're doing it, which is great, every valley on your little drawing is where the most wealth in real estate is made.
All right.
That's it.
So here we go.
There's one there.
Right here and right here.
This is where wealth was made last time.
So when's the last time and when is now?
Late 80s.
Okay, so this is 80s.
And this is now.
Okay.
Now.
So this is, so in 2000, so you're talking about roughly, so in the 80s you had the 90s, 2000s, so it's almost 30-year cycle.
Yeah, well, it was about in the 90s, so about 20 years.
Okay, so 20-year cycle.
Late 80s.
Was it before? Was it in the 60s?
Yeah, it was about 20 years before that too.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
now here's the thing. What's sexy is when the market is at the peak. When everybody and their brother is investing, that's when it's sexy. That's when everybody runs out. It's the complete opposite of what, it's not contrarian thinking. Everybody and their brother is talking about, hey, real estate, I bought the house across the street.
Everyone became a mortgage broker.
Mortgage, and it got sexy.
Yeah.
And then the bubble bursts.
Right.
And we come crashing down and we get to this bottom market where we're at. Now, I could give you all kinds of details, which I'll share, if you'd like. But
okay, I just
right
say
now, we are at the bottom.
How do you know that's true?
Okay, couple real quick things.
Yeah.
Days on market. I'll just give you a real quick thing.
Okay.
Days on market means how long it takes when you list a house compared to when it sells.
Okay.
Okay. When the market was screaming straight up, the days on market reduces. 100, 60, 40, 30, 20. At the peak, at the top of the bubble, at the top of your roller coaster right here, it was probably 5 or 7 days. Right?
Okay.
That's when the market, that's when it's time to back up, right?
Yep.
All of a sudden the market crashes and we go screaming down.
Sell all your stuff.
5, 20, 50, 100 days on the market.
Okay.
Well, if you ask a real estate agent in your area to give you the last 3 months, 4 months of days on market, and you monitor it, you'll realize days on market have stabilized. We've hit the bottom.
Okay.
It's not changing anymore.
And how, why is 3 to 4 months important?
Well, just so you can see the trend, you'll see that what I'm saying is 100% right. It was going from 10, 20, it went up, it hit a thing, and now it's leveling off.
Okay, great.
Let me tell you why it's leveling off.
Okay.
So days on market, but let me tell you why. 35% of all purchases in the country right now are cash buyers. The cash is back in the market. Ooh. The real estate investors are holding the bottom up. Okay? Third point, no new builds. New builders you can't build a house that costs $100 a square foot when the neighbor is selling his for $50 a square foot. You can't build until it's cheaper. No new builds, but people are still buying houses. Another thing, affordability index. Houses are more affordable right now than they've been in 65 years.
No kidding.
From income, salary to housing. Okay?
65 years?
65 years.
Wow.
And lastly, a report came out the first time in history, there's more investors buying real estate than there is new home buyers. So we've just flopped over the edges, more people buying for investment. Now here's the good news of that. That means we're stable.
Yeah.
That means people still need a place to live. That means so what this has done is created this opportunity that when we hit the bottom like this, it's the most quiet. You don't see anything about real estate in the news right now. You don't hear a lot of people talking about it. This is contrarian thinking. This is what Warren Buffett says. When people are greedy, be scared. When people are scared, be greedy. This is your time to be greedy. Ethically greedy, but greedy, and get involved in the bottom real estate market. Now, let me just give you a real quick example. We drew this roller coaster.
Yep.
I'm going to draw it again.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to draw it one more time. We draw this roller coaster, right? I told
slide it right over here.
Can we do it here? Is this better?
That's fine. Yeah, that's easy.
Okay, so if you could see this is where wealth is made. Okay? We're here right now. What we teach our students how to do because of my marketing, because of 22 years of doing this, because I partner with my top students, because I know how to engage and do this and I'm a good marketer, we teach our students to buy way below the bottom.
Right.
So even if the market slipped a little bit, who cares?
Right.
Because with our, I don't want to use that word ninja, it's kind of overused, but with our marketing strategies, samurai could be good, we teach our students to buy way below the bottom. But here's the gig. If you don't have money or credit or you don't want to be an investor, what we teach our students to do is be online marketers to find better deals using my strategies than anyone else can. Okay? find cash buyers. Those 35% equal billions of dollars. You find the cash buyers, you find better deal, and we teach a scientific matchmaking system to get paid in the middle. I got housewives, I got moms, I got people all over the country from home, killing it because of this down market, right? Silently making a quiet fortune. But if you're smart, if you're not investing in real estate and you have any thought, this is the time to buy below the bottom, keep holding rent, and when the market goes up, you're going to, I mean, nothing can compound your wealth like real estate can. And one last thing, when you're at the bottom and you buy way below the bottom, if the market goes down another 2-3%, but you bought 50% below the bottom, do you really care?
Yeah.
So again, that's why I'm on every station you see. It's why I'm so stoked right now about this time, because I'm making more money than I've ever made in history, and my top students are. So anyway, I get a little passionate about real estate.
It's good. It's good. So one of the things that I'll say, obviously, we came out in this. I just asked you the question.
I know. When real estate, I get going. Sorry.
Right. So here's what I'm going to just say is, like I said in the beginning, there's nothing to buy here. If you want to know more about Dean, just post a comment on this video. Just, post any comment, like, and that kind of thing. And if you want some more, I'll invite Dean back, or we'll get some video content together to share and teach some of your strategies, because I think it'd be kind of interesting. And here's something about me. My best way of making money has always been by creating businesses. That's what I'm good at. And I've never done real estate before, because I've told you I don't really understand it. I know there's probably nothing to understand, and there's a lot of people.
There is. Again, you just need a recipe.
Right. And the other one is stocks. Like, that's where I've lost the most money. It's because I'm just bad at it, right? and I'm not interested in it too. Yeah. But this is something I could be interested in, and it'd be a nice way to diversify, which is something looking forward. So. This is really cool. So basically, we covered the video marketing formula, the mindset shift, and the biggest wealth creation opportunity. Like I said, if you've got some comments, some questions, some thoughts, if you like this, and you want some more with Dean, I'll figure out a way to get some more content to share with you. And anything you want to leave, in terms of just closing this thing up?
No, just that, again, when you have something that you care about, you could see when I talked about real estate, and I might have went too quick on some of the strategies, but I'm passionate about it, right? It's what I live, it's what I experience, and when you're passionate about it, you combine that with all the other strategies we talked about, you get other people to engage, and when you can start changing people's lives through whatever it is that you offer, it becomes addicting, and it trickles down through your employees. Your employees feel the same way you do, so do mine, because I'm passionate, and we get to change people's lives. So again, if you have comments or questions, I'd love to share some more information.
Cool. All right. Well, we're putting this thing on YouTube to get some comments and questions, so we'll push things the next step. So, all right. Well, thanks for being here, my friend.
Thank you.
All right.
Great studio.
Let's shut things down, and thanks for watching. And give Dean a virtual hand with your comments and your likes here on the YouTube channel. All right. See you soon.